My materials are set up. I'm also wearing gloves and glasses for the procedure. Also check your inoculating loop and straighten it out before starting. Start by lighting the Bunsen burner to produce the safety flame. Check your materials and have them within easy reach. Check that the lids are loosened. They need to be loose so they are easy to work with but not falling off. Next, pick up the inoculating loop and hold it in your dominant hand. Hold it like a pencil, as if you were going to write with it. One of the most important techniques to learn is to keep the loop still. During a real microbe transfer, the loop will be covered in microbes. Imagine a spoonful of salt, then imagine transferring the salt from a container across the kitchen to the stove. Think about how careful you would be, and think about what would happen if you were to shake the spoon around. Next, practice some of the procedures regarding moving the tubes around. First, always pick up the test tubes by taking hold of the glass, not the lid. Maneuver the tube in your hand so you are holding it towards the bottom. This allows you to easily move the tube around. It also keeps your fingers away from the burner flame, as we'll be passing the top of the tube through the flame shortly. You are going to use the pinky finger of your loop hand. Trying to keep your loop hand as still as possible, move the tube over to your loop hand, place the tube cap onto the pinky finger. Grab the cap with the pinky finger, then move the tube down and out of the lid. Once again, try and keep the loop as still as you can. Repeat this a few times, keeping watch on the loop and trying to keep it still. For the tube with the screw-on cap, try the same procedure, but you might need to turn the tube a little when removing the tube from the lid and when returning the tube to the lid. Here I have opened the collar on the Bunsen burner to produce the working flame. The transfer begins by sterilizing the loop. Don't rush this procedure. Start in the middle, then follow the glowing color down the wire, ending with the circle of the loop. The loop is very hot after this. It could burn you if you are not careful. The loop is also hot enough to kill microbes on contact. Hold the loop steady for about 30 seconds to let it cool down before moving on.
At this point in editing the video, I ran out of credits on my primary text-to-speech account. So the rest of the video will be narrated by this voice. With your free hand, pick up the culture tube. Move the tube to your loop hand and take hold of the cap with your pinky finger. Move the tube out from the cap and flame the top of the tube. In the flaming procedure, the top of the tube is passed through the hottest part of the flame 3 times. Across, back, and across again. Move the tube up to the tip of the loop. Carefully insert the loop into the tube. Then move the tube up over the loop. When you insert the loop, don't push it all the way down into the tube. Look carefully at where the agar begins. When we contact the agar with the loop, start at the bottom of the slant surface. Then we will use the fishtail technique to apply the loop to the gel. Here is a closer look at the fishtail application. The loop makes contact with the gel, with the loop flat against the agar. Then, as you move the loop up the tube, the loop moves side to side. You should be able to see the path that the loop took in the surface of the agar. Carefully move the tube to withdraw the loop, then flame the tube. Be careful, because even this short contact with the flame will make the glass of the tube hot. Return the tube to the lid. Attach the lid. And then transfer the tube back to the holder, all the time being careful to keep the loop still. If this was a real transfer, the circle of the loop would be covered in microbes. Remember to think of a spoonful of salt. We are going to repeat the procedure to transfer microbes into the sterile tube. Remove the cap. Flame the tube. And apply the loop to the gel. The opening of the screw cap for tubes is much smaller, so take extra care. You don't want to bump the loop on the opening, as this would cause microbes on the loop to fling off into the environment. Use the fish tail pattern to apply the loop to the gel. Then flame the tube. Pass it 3 times through the flame. Because of the small size of the screw cap tubes, take extra care when replacing the lid, as the glass of the tube could be very hot after flaming. Secure the lid and place the tube back in the holder. Then sterilize the loop. This marks the end of the transfer procedure. After sterilization, allow time for the loop to cool before placing it down.